Hi there, Phil Rogers, Lauren Hall from Loan Market Edge, coming to you with our weekly wrap. A bit of a cheeky Saturday afternoon singlet session at the office yesterday. We were part of the Ray White Surfers Paradise, a business meets sports luncheon for charity. It's 450 plus, 480 plus people here at the casino. Such a great event.
Raising money for the Surfers Paradise Surf Lifesaving Club.
Yeah, it was great. We, I bought a couple of auction items as I normally do, but it was good. It was a really good afternoon and probably a couple of shandies, which meant we weren't in here yesterday to be able to do our wrap up, but
yes,
we wanted to fire into a couple of things after obviously congratulating the team for what they did there yesterday. Was probably really topical for us this week. One item, I know we've spoken about it before, but comprehensive credit reporting and just what's actually happening and what does that actually mean. And we saw this week in particular, a couple of other banks, one of the majors in particular came out and is going to steer more towards that comprehensive credit reporting. More and more so now banks are starting to rely on that one document. We spoke last week about all the things that you can avoid or are easily avoidable and quite easy to watch. Now, a lot of this is actually what's happening in the background that you might not see up front. It's not visible for you to be able to tell exactly what's happening. So with comprehensive credit reporting, now in Australia, you'll find that they will report on 2 years worth of your conduct on that credit facility. So by law, a lot of these lenders now are required to feed back into what is, I guess, a central database. And that information is recorded on your credit file, where it used to just be if you applied for finance, you saw an inquiry. But more and more now, even we're looking at some of the scalings where, you know, if you're 0 to 29 days late, you know, and again, think about all of the little things, and this might click for some people. You go, oh, well, shit, I always see those late payment fees, or oh, it was overdrawn. I had money, just not in the right account on the right day. Understand now what that looks like on those credit facilities, on a credit card, on anything. That's now reported. So when you go to apply for finance and you missed a late payment on a credit card 3 months in a row last August, that is actually going to affect your ability to get a loan today.
Yeah, even if that facility is closed. So that's the other part to bear in mind as well, is that even closed facilities will still show conduct over the past 2 years. So when we think about when we're applying for credit, we're showing the banks that we can meet our current commitments to, I suppose, encourage them to extend credit to us. So if on your credit file it shows that there are late payments or commitments, current commitments or previous that haven't been made on time, that obviously affects our ability to show the bank that we can afford our new debt. So it is really important.
And I guess that frustrating part I said before, you know, we talked a lot of times, we've always had money, but the right account on the right day, the direct debit didn't come out, or that thing I know that always comes out a week late and they charge me $5 and you don't think much of it. Understand the way that it's not our choice, but the banks are now steering towards is relying more and more on that document. So it's incredibly important if you sit down during the week or over the weekend, have a look at your direct debits, understand, do you leave enough in your bills account? You know, is there a reversal, a late payment, an overdrawn? Is this stuff coming out regularly by accident? And one of the important things we do with all of our clients is getting a copy of that credit file up front, because we need to try and mitigate to work out whether that's actually going to be okay for a bank, or whether, a couple of ones or a couple of twos, and it might sound weird, but when you see your credit file, you'll see it. But they reference, there is a scale, a legend down the bottom where, 0 to 29 days, you might get a 1. If you were, 30 to 59 days late in that payment, you might get a 2. For a lot of banks right now, if you've got 2 2s in the last 24 months, they will often decline applications. We're workshopping this as credit, going, this is a deal all day. I don't know where the problem is. They service it. They go, no, but the comprehensive credit report is telling us X.
So a massive positive, obviously, if you have your direct debits and your bill payments and everything organised, and what we're going to start to see and what the discussion is already is that the banks will be able to move away from needing all of the extra supporting documents around credit card liability statements and home loan statements and personal loan statements, which obviously makes it quicker for them to do business and easier for us to transact, but there's more reliance then on what's showing on your credit file. So all the banks can see that. There's full transparency across all of them. Normally, if we were showing showing a credit facility, it might be a month or 3 months or 6 months. Understanding this now shows the past 24 months. So if you don't have direct debit set up or automatic payments or things set up to come out on time, you need to get them set up ASAP, so that it's not affecting your credit file, because it can cause issues for quite some time.
It's for us. It's not written anywhere. There's no education around it. The bank or government hasn't come out and said, "Hey, this is the way we're doing things. This is just what's happening." You know, so we're trying to put. I had a note there about good credit-based behaviour.
Yeah.
You know, as weird as that might sound,
sums it up.
but understand those little things right now. It's fantastic that the flow of credit can happen quicker, that they're going to adjust the way, maybe that forensic approach sometimes to some of the documents, but they are going to be very much using this. So it's just going to be incredibly important over these next 12 months. If you're thinking about going for a loan, if you're sort of working up to that, if you want to refinance, we've got clients that can't refinance or can't get loans at the bank. We've got a client this week that's just sold a property, has over 50% deposit, tried to go to the same bank to get a new loan for less and couldn't get it on the basis that there was 4 missed payments over a period of 24 months on a credit card. And he just paid out a mortgage that was higher than the one he's currently getting. You know, it's incredibly frustrating. We are fortunate that obviously as a broker, we have access to 60 plus banks. They're all going to look at this a little bit differently. The majority of them are fairly tough. But there are some lenders out there that have a little bit of flexibility. You know, they can help mitigate what's happened. They're prepared to work.
The strength of your
the strength of your application, your deposit, servicing, all those things. They might say, well, can you give us a story? Can you go back as far as showing us that there was money in the bank on the day that happened? And it wasn't that we weren't in a position to be able to not pay. We just, unfortunately, for whatever reason and oversight, it wasn't paid. So it's a big one. It is good that the banks are leaning more towards it, because hopefully it just pulls back some of that forensic approach. But then the next side to that is, hey, we need to make sure that this is really tidy. You know, and we can't. We talked last week again about what's some of those avoidable, some of the reasons you're getting declined, and maybe ways that we can help you avoid this. This is another area that in the background, there's these little tweaks happening that you might look at your account and not really realize and understand what flow and effect that has to your credit file. So if you haven't yet, and
it's our top tip for the week.
If you haven't yet, and it's we don't work for Equifax or anything, but I would jump on and download a copy of your credit file now. Just understand what it looks like, and start to build that back up, and get yourself, ready to go over the next 1 to 2 years. So cool.
Perfect.
But for now, enjoy the weekend and look forward to talking with you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.